It's the dirtiest I've ever been. I'm wearing 7 different layers of dirt.
Yeah, you sort of have a rinse and then the rest of it can stay there because they're going to put it back on again tomorrow.
In like 4 hours, so.
The craft of filmmaking is much more accessible today. The way we see movies, the technology is changing, the audiences are changing, but they're still constant in our lives. That's why we tell stories.
Anya and Chris, thanks so much for hanging out with me today.
Of course.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about the epic new installment in the Mad Max universe, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
Whatever you have to do. However long it takes. Promise me you'll find your way home. Furiosa. Give me this promise.
Anya, starting with you, you've appeared in the 2 sandiest movies of 2024 so far, in Dune Part 2 and Furiosa, of course. How much of that sand were you trying to shake after a day on set, or did that just come home with you?
Still shaking.
Listen, they're two very different types of sand. You have the red earth of Australia is very hard to get off. Definitely dune walking is hell on your quads. And yeah, you have to shake out your boots at the end of the day, for sure. But we were talking about this just in terms of Furiosa. It's the dirtiest I've ever been. At my cleanest, I'm wearing 7 different layers of dirt. And I think at a certain point, both of us just kind of gave up trying to get clean.
Yeah, you sort of have a rinse and then the rest of it can stay there because they're going to put it back on again tomorrow.
In like 4 hours, so.
Rinse and repeat, I get it. Okay, Chris, when you're sitting behind the wheel of these gargantuan vehicles that George Miller has brought to life for these films, does it make it hard to get into your day-to-day car after a day on set?
Yeah, it feels rather insignificant at the end of the day, getting into a normal car. Like, yeah, there's certainly that thing, the 6 foot, the big monster truck, you feel pretty important up there. Yeah, but I think anyone on the set of a Mad Max film, when at the beginning, you know, they yell, start your engines, and all the motorbikes and trucks and cars fire up and the place just erupts, it's a pretty special moment. Yeah. It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. And you're not getting that experience in your car when you pull out of the lot?
Yeah, I've removed the muffler and no.
Trying.
No, I don't have a vehicle that makes the same noise. I don't think I'd be welcomed around my neighborhood if I did.
Now, Anya, I heard you avoided rewatching Fury Road before beginning the journey with Furiosa. Tell us a little bit about that decision.
I watched it. I'd seen that, listen, Fury Road's one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen that movie a lot. I watched it once all the way through, probably a year before getting out there, like when I was just starting my training. I think I just wanted to make sure that I was telling the story of the character in the script that I had. Because so much of our crew had also worked on Fury Road, I had a feeling that if I had tapped into the same essence as Charlize had, they would let me know. And I remember the day that I stepped out on set and the crew just went, I was like, yes, okay, this is gonna work. This is gonna work.
Yeah.
All right, quickly, my last question for the both of you. I'm hoping you can put on your movie fan hat for a second. What is your perfect movie watching setup? Where are you? Who are you with? What are you snacking on? Set the scene.
I love the Electric Cinema, Portobello Road in London.
It's very good.
They serve drinks and food and so on, and they're big, comfy lounge couches. Me and my wife have had, I think, our most enjoyable movie-going experiences there, and saw Fury Road in that cinema, lost our minds.
I love either a very comfy, larger couch situation. There's a place in Brooklyn called the Nighthawk that I really liked, but I also just love vintage cinemas. So the Ritz in Sydney, I loved.
Yeah.
And then there's one in East London that's like a tiny, tiny little room, but it's just so beautiful. It's all Art Deco. So yeah, anything that harkens back to the golden age of movies, I really enjoy.
The nostalgia, that sort of setup, yeah.
Anya, Chris, Thank you so much for chatting with me today, and congratulations on Furiosa.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much, Lev.
Hi, George Miller. What an absolute honor to have the chance to speak with you today. I have no doubt Furiosa will stun audiences once again, visually and sonically, but that's not all a Mad Max film has. Tell me about the emotionality behind this installment and the ride, pardon the pun, we'll be taking with Furiosa.
It's a saga, first of all. And it's a story of someone taken from their home when they're young, 10 years old, and how they have to endure the trials of the wasteland and how they, bit by bit, trying to get home, how she becomes, after 18 years, the road warrior. And I think, in a way, these stories are allegorical. They kind of, in a way, little kind of lessons, let's say, about how we might conduct ourselves in similar situations. Whoever we are, wherever we are in time, being a human being, it can be a struggle. And I think this is a function not only of this story, but I believe on all stories that are allegorical, whether they're nursery rhymes or great epic sagas or great mythologies. I think that's why we tell stories.
Thank you for that teaser.
Yeah.
Now, the original Mad Max premiered back in 1979, which kicked off this 45-year-long journey. A new chapter in the franchise gives a lot of people the opportunity to go back and watch the originals for the first time. How does it feel to have new generations of movie fans interact with the story that you've been crafting for decades?
Well, I never expected it to happen, but I got to say, it's a wonderful thing. I just meet so many people who say that I saw the first Mad Max when I was a little kid with my father, or I saw Fury Road with my brothers or my family when I was quite young. So that's always really interesting, and I'm really grateful that I'm still curious enough about the process of making films and telling stories that I'm around to hear that. It feels good.
Oh, that's great to hear. Lastly, quick one for you. Your films leave me feeling inspired and invigorated about the art of movie making. Are there any movies, shows, or perhaps filmmakers that have made you feel that same inspiration recently?
Oh, look, so many, going way back to the silent era. I mean, it's a brand new language. It's about only 125 years old, and it's evolving all the time. The way we see movies, the way we read movies, the technology's changing, the audiences are changing, but they're still constant in our lives. There's filmmakers from the early silent filmmakers. Buster Keaton had huge influence on my filmmaking, like all cinema. I could talk for hours about all the films that influenced me.
George, thank you for your candor. It's been an honor. Congratulations on your film.
Thank you very much.